audio going, this going. Yeah.
Yeah.
This sucks when you like.
We've done this 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In those 4 years, we probably could have came up with that idea.
Some type of checklist. That we
I'm
can
gonna make
go-
you a chat list of ChatGPT tomorrow. Send it to you guys.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So whenever you're ready, Jesse.
Okay. I'm Jesse Weiman, and welcome to another episode of the Sit Down Podcast.
Hey, Jesse.
Hello. How are you guys doing today?
Very good.
Good. Welcome to everybody at home and over here.
Heck yeah.
Hello.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
Hello everyone at home. So yeah, we did a lot of talking before we pressed record here.
I know.
So now I'm just like, how do we kick this off?
And done.
But no, Jesse, thank you so much for coming all the way out to Bellevue here to Le Capitan Restaurant to hang out with us tonight. So
No, thank you for having me. And before we even get started, I just wanted to say, right off the start, that you guys do a fantastic job. Like, you guys are such hustlers, and I just want like everyone on YouTube, you know, the million of people that are going to watch this today. But like, you guys work so hard, and you do so much for the music community. Like, kudos, like, way to go, you two. Like, great work.
Thank you
like,
so much, man.
I really want it to be like known. Like, I see what you guys do for the music community here, and for everyone there, and great work. Like, and also too, your freakish consistency. I respect it. I respect hard work and consistency more than talent any day of the week.
Yeah,
People can be
we don't
born
have
with
time.
talent, but people that can hustle like you guys can, that's a rare thing.
well,
So
I appreciate that.
I
Yeah.
truly
I
do,
wanted to say
man.
that
Thank
right
you so
away.
much
Yeah.
because sometimes it's just, you know how it is. You get in those days where it's like,
Why the fuck are we doing
yeah,
this?
what are we
Yeah.
doing this for? Does anyone even know? You know what I mean?
I feel me and my wife had this today.
Exactly, right? So
She's here. She's spitting out her Pepsi because of that.
Laughing because she knows it's true.
heck yeah, no, I truly appreciate that. We've always said if we're not having fun, that's when we're gonna pull the plug on it. And we've learned so much by just being consistent in the last 4
No,
years.
it's so
man.
true. And
Yep.
I learned this thing the other day. I was watching a video, and it made me think of you guys. Because I've always, you're the one crew that I look at where I'm like, man, these guys are so consistent. But I watched this one video, and this guy was talking about burnout. And he was saying burnout only happens, and he was saying this, where if it doesn't resonate with you, if you're doing something that's wrong with you. So if I'm noticing right now when I do my artistry, and I can see with you guys, you're doing something you're passionate about, and it resonates with you. And I think that's what's pushing you forward.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know how people say like life is about like experiences and like the journey and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of look at it like that too. It's like,
Yep.
dude, the people we've gotten to meet
Mhm.
by doing this, like, man, how many
we don't-
times have I fanboyed out in the last 4 years? You know what I mean? But
And we
then
don't really have an end goal with this. This is the journey. This is what we do.
this is what we're
This
doing.
is-
Because
No, yeah, and you guys are both business people. You know it too. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not about the end result. It's about the journey. It's all like just hopefully it's a good end result.
yeah, like realistically.
whatever the end result is. Yeah.
If there was seriously only 2 views on each video and it was like Mark and myself as we upload the episodes,
That won't happen because I don't watch it.
well, there you go. So me and Suze.
Don't worry, my parents will see this.
Yeah,
Like
but-
hi mom, hi dad. Like
But realistically, like, we're doing it for us. If people are tuning in and enjoying it and learning something and
Great.
whatever, great, grand. But that's not why we're doing it. We're doing it because we're just having a hell of a good time doing it
And I think
meeting
it's
great people.
It's also because we are people. You know, we like interacting with people and meeting new people. And every time we do this podcast, we get to know someone on a different level than, you know, oh, we saw you at a show. Oh, that was cool. I still don't know anything about you. But now we're sitting down and we actually get to know you.
you get to build a
Yeah.
rapport and you get to know them.
Yep.
No, that's the thing I've learned in my last 7-8 years doing music, that for me it's the
It
battle.
wasn't 7, 8. It was more like 10. We determined.
I guess full time. When I went full time. When I went full time. I've been doing it for 20 years, but like full to me that's
Yeah.
like the when I was eating off at time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always been that battle of passion and making money. It's like this thing you always battle with, I find, being like in my position of being a music producer and making my living off it. It's always the internal battle all the time. Even me as an
100%.
artist, like, 'cause it's like I can go different directions with sounds, and as an artist, actually, a producer I'm really solid with. I'm professional. Like, it's because I'm working for someone and I'm going with their vision. With me, total crazyville. Like I think you and I have talked about it
We
before,
did,
but
eh?
like just everywhere, because it's like I'm a rock guy at heart. Like I do like country, but like I am, so it's always been this battle because we live in Saskatchewan, so it's like
Yeah.
and I have the marketer in me that knows this path leads to this. So no, I finally settled on it, but I'm gonna go with like I'm calling it rock, country, pop, but it took me a minute to get there, and I'm
Right.
finally feeling good about it. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I
we're all
know.
in
So
agreement.
no, it's a long journey, but I can see though, checking out your guys' 1 million videos today, that we have crossed paths with similar people that we've worked with.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yep.
like you said. You've been okay. So you even just said that you've been doing it for 20 years, full time for about the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And that you are a producer, and I'm very familiar with a few artists that you worked with, for sure. But why don't you give us some names that where we could
Let's
have
see.
crossed paths? You
Well,
know.
the first one is Kieran. That's I'd say
Yeah.
the newest addition
Right.
to you guys. Kieran. So anyone out there that hasn't seen Kieran yet, he's 17, maybe he's 18 now, but like a very promising artist. Got a wicked voice. He's got a very strong TikTok following. Also comes from a great family, excellent attitude. Also, again, another little hustler. But you guys have started working with him, and he started playing shows. He even sold out the Capitol show
Hell
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
for someone that's not even drinking age.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's we were talking about this pre-recording as well. We got Mark and I received a lot of thank yous for allowing Kieran to perform at Open Stage the night we met him and everything. And I was saying how I definitely want to clear the air on this episode that truth be told, it's because of you. You were the one that encouraged him to come to Open Stage that night. And we just happened to be hosting that night and made it work and got him up there. And then he's been doing pretty damn good since then. Like you said, he sold out his own show at the Capitol. He opened for Joel.
No.
What's the guy's name?
Yeah, that country artist.
There was a country. Yeah.
Yeah.
He got, because of that Open Stage night, he
Stephen
ended up.
Stephen Lee Olsen.
Stephen Lee Olsen.
There you go.
Yep.
There
He
you
ended
go.
up getting an opening slot for that show because of the Open Stage, and then from there got his own show at the Capitol and
Yep.
so on and so forth. But yes, to be clear, you were the one. He even said it, I think, when he was on here, actually, that
Yeah,
you
he
were
did.
the one that encouraged him to do that. So
I remember that. I had to bug him for a bit because he was nervous. But I'm like, you'll be fine. I know it's a bar, but you'll be okay. You'll be okay. But
He was totally fine.
But no, you
Yeah.
guys got him out there though. Like again, like I guess I got him to show up that one day, but you
Well,
guys
that's-
recognized the talent
Also-
though and helped him get those shows. Like
So
that's
we
not
we also need to shout out Evan and his dad, Kurt,
Evan Baxter.
because Kurt has been bugging us. Like I want Evan on at Open Stage, and he told us that, and we're like, well, he's a minor, and the Capitol is a bar. So we talked to the Capitol, and there are some rules that because it's a restaurant/bar, you can have minors there, but they have to be accompanied by a parent. So when Evan was on stage, you were there, and you're like, huh, this kid is a minor? Maybe I should bring Evan.
That's what it was.
Bring
maybe I should
Kieran.
bring Kieran, yeah.
yeah.
So then it wasn't Jesse. It's actually the thanks
To Kurt.
to Kurt for bringing
But the
on.
idea.
Yeah.
No, it's just interesting. I've worked with bands and everyone of all ages, but now I definitely specialize in like artist development. Like I do work with a lot of youth now.
Right.
So it's. I'm always looking for those things because it's tough when you're not 19. Like it's one of those things.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
it's
that's- yeah.
trickier. But it can be done. It's not like my day where I could show up with a guitar and be like, I'm in the band.
Yeah. Well, this
You know, but
this actually makes me think of a question that I would like to ask you, because you are on like the foot patrol and working with these kids and working with artists and producing and recording and everything. From when you started 20 years ago, trying to like get some recordings done and everything, and fast forward to now with you working with younger people now that are like trying to break out and get in the scene, do you like what are some major differences that you're aware of from when you started to now, what are the kids going through right now that you didn't have any thought that was even possible, kind of thing? Does that make sense? Is that
I understand what you're
valid
saying.
question?
It's a long question.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I can answer this. First thing would be accessibility. So the biggest thing I can say now from back then, there's so much more accessibility. You absolutely, without a question, can get out there as a musician now. Like, no question. Back in my day, gatekeepers everywhere.
You're right.
You have to know someone or be something or like get signed to a label. Now, someone like Kieran can totally do it on his own if he has the will for it. And he can even right now he's learning recording, and I've been teaching him that. Like, I think learning recording is very doable now. Like YouTube, TikTok, like you can get famous just being like, yo, and dancing a bit now.
Right.
Like, that exists.
Yep.
I do think it's a safer environment now. Shows like even just being part of like the SCMAs and SAS Music, like we'll say SAS Music, they're doing big strides on making things more inclusive and safer.
Right.
It's not perfect at all, but like it's definitely getting better. I think and I know people are down on streaming, but actually I've been on this big rabbit hole for the last month. I actually think it's very promising. Like it's one of those things where it could be a consistent revenue source if you know how to access it well.
Right.
And that never existed back then. There's so much opportunity. Like even being a content creator is a complete legit living now.
Yeah.
You know, again, like there's no easy path to this. I think the biggest issue sometimes what I've seen in my career is you have the hobbyist artists and the professional ones. And there's a lot of people that are hobbyists that think by finishing a record and putting it out there, why am I not famous yet?
Yep.
And then you have the ones that actually work for it. Those are the ones, like I always say with the music industry, in any industry, even what you guys, hard working is a prerequisite. If you don't got that, you shouldn't even be contending. If you're not like hustling all the time. What's you like another person on my list? I worked with her briefly writing a song, Caitlin Lehner. Another hustler.
Oh, absolutely.
Hustler.
I don't think I know any other artist that
Hustler.
In my opinion, I don't know if I know anybody that freaking works as hard.
But
as she does
that's a
now.
prerequisite. Like being good is such a, it's your taste. Like I always say this: if you can just say I can go like this, blah 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 blah. But I'm bringing 10,000 people, and I have the hustle to make that big. Like that's really what it is. Like
Right.
I find
Yep.
if you hear any story, because I'm very big into like reading bibliographies and document, just anything. I like learning about people. The consistent thing about every human alive, any genre, anything, any workplace, is they work extremely hard all the time, and they learn from their mistakes, and they don't get stuck in the past. 'Cause
Yep.
that's another thing I see with musicians all the time. Like back in the 90s, we didn't do TikTok, so I don't like TikTok.
You're right.
Stuff like that. But if you're not able to adapt, you're going to be left behind.
I
I remember COVID. This is the biggest one that really stuck out to me with the musicians. And it's the one time I was happy with myself. The second I heard we were shutting down, I was immediately pivoting. Immediately. I wasn't sitting there bitching about it. It was like, okay, I got to get remote now.
Yeah.
Where I remember musicians being like, we can't play shows. We can't. And it sucked. And I know it's controversial what I'm saying, but it's those people that can hustle but pivot and change when they have to. And like, I see that in chaos.
Yes.
Like,
I
Yep.
agree wholeheartedly,
she's
man.
not that. Like
It's-
she's
but
going to
it's-
do what she has to do. Like
You have to treat it as a business.
it is
If
a
you want to
business.
make money, you have to treat it as a business.
If you claim to be a professional at anything, and then professional means you're making income
Yep.
and you are at a skill level where you're making income, it's a business.
Yep.
Right.
Even music, you can still have your feels behind it, but like if you're putting food on the table for people,
Mhm.
it's a business, and you
Hell
gotta treat
yeah.
it like that. And you have to have that work ethic.
Dude, I couldn't agree more with what you're saying right now. I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of artists out there that release an album and then what's on Spotify. So
I did that, and that's what I learned from it. Like in my last 8 years, that's what I learned. Like I was just like the people I'm talking
Yeah.
about. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like where now, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
No.
You have to know how to market yourself
Absolutely.
and sell and like
Absolutely. Well,
get
there's
out there and do what you need to do. You got to play the game a bit and like
100%.
this one is called Blue Eyes. I hear her all the time from across the hall, singing all those love songs you hear on TV. Voice that would kill and a mean guitar. I can't help thinking that she's singing about me. It's the only thing I've ever heard in my life. Turn the city boy to the countryside with a knock on a door and a bottle of wine and those blue eyes. She said, hey boy, let's go fishing in the dark. I'll sing lead, you play guitar. Hey girl, that's all I wanna do. Sit around and play rock and roll with you. Sing like brown-eyed girl. And hey, oh, you shook my world. All I wanna do is be close to you and those blue eyes. Daddy didn't like it when she brought me home. I didn't make a knob at the 9 to 5. We had a couple of beers, I played her father's guitar. It didn't take long for them to take my side. She's the only one that ever made me feel strong. Helped me realize that I'm not alone. She hit so hard when she came along. Less like heavy metal and more like a love song. Hey boy, let's go fishing in the dark. I'll sing lead, you play guitar. Hey girl, that's all I wanna do. Sit around and play rock and roll with you. Sing shine like brown-eyed girl. Hey, oh, you shook my world. All I wanna do is be close to you and those blue one night she said to me, want you in my life, that's all I need. Thought, hey girl, that's all I wanna do. Spend my life growing old with you. Hey boy, let's go fishing in the dark. I'll sing lead, you play guitar. Hey girl, that's all I wanna do. Sit around and play rock and roll with you. Sing shine like a brown-eyed girl. And hey, oh, you shook my world. All I wanna do is be close to you. Those blue eyes. Hey, girl, your blue eyes. Hey, girl, your blue eyes. Yeah.
That's like another thing too. Like back in the 90s when an artist got signed, they didn't have to do all that self-promotion. The label did it for them.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly. Now
No.
the artist is not only the artist doing their recordings and masterings and mixings and creating all of that. So they do all that work, and now they have to figure out how to run all these individual platforms like TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and you name it.
All of it.
And now they need to figure all those different platforms out and how to, gain a following there. It's just like, holy shit.
No.
And then
And
you
there-
get how much per spin on Spotify?
But then there's also the companies like Nolita and Funky Moose that help these artists. But then it's like, oh, but that costs money. Well, yeah, you got to spend money to make money. It's
Right.
business 101.
Let's
Right.
think of it this way, though. Like, being an artist is expensive. It is.
Yep.
But let's just say us three wanted to open up a shoe store. Let's just
That-
say,
that
just
was
a
gonna be-
normal, basic business, just a shoe store.
That was going to be my next
let's say
analogy.
this bar here.
Yeah.
You'd be spending a lot more than being an artist. Let's just be real. And you're going to be waiting years till you make a profit, like at least 3 to 5 years. That's every business ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think people forget that stuff all
Right.
the time with that. And it's the same thing. I agree. Being an artist is hard. It's really hard. It's very hard. You got to be crazy to do it. Like, legitly, like, you're
Yeah.
called to do that thing. Like, no
Right.
one does music stuff thinking about the money at first.
Right.
But there's a path to it, and there is great wealth in it, and there is great, like, a good life with it. It just takes a long time.
Yep.
Again, I always think, like, and I think a lot of people don't think about this, but to get just good at something takes 10 years of consistent effort.
Yep.
Than
It's
any-
the
10,000
10,000 hours.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, 10 years, 10,000 hours. It takes that much time. Like, and then, like you said, we were talking previously about all these hats you have to wear as an artist. You need to know these things now. You can't be like the old days where you're like, I just do music. Again, the last thing I would say here is ignorance is expensive.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Yep.
just is. Like, the more you know, the more you earn, all those things with it. Like, it's the same with music. Again, like, that's why I learned recording. I saw it right away. I remember I was working with Ryan Anderson back in the day. And again, great producer. We did our Straight Face Liars record with him. But I remember even thinking, and it wasn't even expensive back then, but I was looking like, I'm not going to be able to afford this down the road. Like, if I
Yeah.
want to keep. And that's why I started learning it. Like, it was just, yeah.
Speaking of straight-faced liars, I saw a video. I just remember that. I saw a video that you posted about a week ago.
Oh, Josh was our old singer in the band, but he got on Canadian Idol. And
Okay.
I remember because I was living at my parents' at the time, but the Canadian Idol crew came and filmed us jamming, and he was doing like, "I'm Josh Grant, the next Canadian Idol," and it's like the thing we tease him about till this day. Like,
Oh my God.
yeah, I know.
I didn't see that.
It was it was a video.
It was a video, good old fashioned like 2007 Canadian Idol, the
Like legit Canadian Idol?
he did Canadian Idol.
Yeah.
And it's funny with Josh, actually, he met his wife on Canadian Idol, and then he moved, and he got married, and then he moved to Ontario.
Oh my God, that's freaking amazing.
No,
The
it was great.
experiences, dude.
That's what
Right?
I'm telling you. And that's
Like,
the one
had
thing.
he not been doing that and get on to Canadian Idol, he would have never met his wife.
No, and he's got 4 kids now. That's what I mean. That's what music does for you. Like,
Hell yeah.
music is a connecting thing.
Frickin'
Like,
right.
with feelings, with lyrics, with people. I even think all the time, too, like, what that guitar has done for me. Like, the people I get to meet. It's like, I always say this to people, because I do mentor my artists a lot. And I'll tell them all the time, like, when you go on stage and sing, it's an instant perspective changer for people. Like, even me to this day, I will be at any networking event, walk around all day, hi. The second I sing a song or two, totally different reception when I go up on stage. Every time.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, it's crazy what music can do. And again, but it's extremely hard. And I do feel like you got to be like nuts to do it.
But it's also a lot of fun.
No, it is really fun. It's very fulfilling. It's very fulfilling. But
Hell yeah.
I can't claim for a sec. I don't want to like lie to anyone saying it's easy or like.
Yeah, well, that's just it. If people like, there's a lot of people to this day that are looking for that get rich quick scheme or like how to make money fast, and
Doesn't exist.
It does not exist, man.
You don't even want it that way. Like, I think it's about the grind that makes you tough. Like, it's about developing the will and the grit and knowing how to take hits. Like,
building. That's what builds your character.
That's
and
what
makes
builds
you
it.
who you are. Is those experiences and our life and like you said, don't dwell in the past, but learn from past experiences.
Exactly.
Like if I want to get in a real depressive state, I can think of some shit that happened 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and it's like, but why would I do that? I've learned from that, and I'm well past that now. So just look forward. Like, I've got an 8-year-old son now. Like, I like to dream about his future and where he's going to be in 20 years from now, and
it's all
like,
about where you put your attention and mind too. Like,
100%.
because I remember that, like, cause even me, like back in it's definitely doing a lot better than now, but like I've struggled with lots of mental health, like issues in the past. Like, 'cause, again, like, it's just, I was talking about with Andrew actually earlier about this today, but I remember being like in my early 30s, like that's when I just started like going full time, and those first couple of years were like some skimpy years, and like I just remember at that age, like, because you'd have your friends that like was like a teacher, like went the, how would you call it, like the
like a
not music path, like the get a job, like
The
have a career. But I remember I was so hard seeing
productive
that
member of society.
Productive member of society. But I remember back then being really tough because it was so skimpy. But I was following what I wanted to do, and luckily it worked out. But I remember just seeing them like getting houses and like doing those things. Now that I don't even know if I want to do it actually now, but like it was at the time. At the time, I remember that being very hard, and just like the comparison that came, and I just remember I was just so ignorant back then. Like it was good I quit my job because
Weren't we all?
We were, but
like,
I mean I quit my job I think with like $300 in my bank account. I was nuts. Like it worked out in the end, but like it's just like I knew nothing. I just remember just like finally learning to read and just binging business books for like 5 years trying to figure out what I was doing.
Right.
Yeah, I was telling these guys earlier when we were talking, but I remember when I quit my job working, as I used to be an educational assistant. I used to work with special needs kids for 8 years at the Catholic School Board. But I remember I'm like, I'm going to put my music out. I'm going to do Jesse stuff. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, I need to make money. Or I'm going to starve to death and be on the street. Like, for real. It was like one of those, like, I just remember those first 2 years, like, shitting my pants every second. Like, no joke. Like, and that's where I think all the gray hairs that I cover up with hair dye came from. I just, like, I'll never forget it. But again, where I'm going with this, though, is eventually I got used to it. Just I've learned with all this, like,
Yeah, well,
anything
you
that hard,
you
you just
adapted
adapt,
to
you
it.
adapt. You
Yep.
adapt, and you just learn how to do what you need to do, and you get tougher with it. And out of all those, like any of those, if you're any artists out there, people watching that are going through mental issues or like the struggle of like, because you're an artist and you're working your job or you're building your career, there'll be a day you'll find peace with it. There will be. Like, I'm feeling it lately, but like, you'll get more in peace with it. It'll grow as long as you stick with it.
That's
Like,
right.
That's really the trick. Like, you, again, like I was with someone the other day and they're asking me about Pro Tool stuff. And I was like, I've been doing this for 20 years. Like, I should be good at this by now.
Yeah.
Like, something would be wrong if like I wasn't like,
Yeah.
even guitar. Like, I should be able to play decently now.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, I just think for anyone out there, it's like, I really believe in the hustle. I really do. And like you guys said too early, it's like you got to try your best to enjoy the journey. It's going to suck acid sometimes and you're going to starve and like it's going to be terrifying.
But
You
learn,
know?
but to learn from that.
Learn from it. And
Like
it's-
I told you earlier, like we've doing this for 4 years plus, every week, and they're all different. Every single
always
week
something,
it's
yep.
different, whether it's something with the audio or something with the video or what the location, or there's always some. It's never, it's
No.
consistent, but it's so far from the from the last week. Do you know what I mean?
We
Yeah.
started on my couch in the basement with both our laptops on our laps and talking about music.
I think that's where every great music story starts from.
On a couch. It's such a Wayne's World story, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
For
where I
us.
started too.
I love. There was the first year we did Moosefest. I really wanted to. I still want to do this for a promo. I think it's Wayne's World 2. You know where he has the dream and sees Jim Morrison and he's walking in the desert. Dude, I want to do like what is that? What's that word?
Parody.
A parody of that where it's Mark and me, like one of us be Jim Morrison and the other one be Wayne, and like walking in the
you
desert.
guys could pull it off.
I think we
pull
could,
it
man.
off.
I would love. I think it's
We'll come
funny
up-
stuff like
We'll
that.
come up with something. Yeah.
Hell
I think
yeah,
that's
dude.
a great idea. I think that's a great idea. But no, I'm so indoctrinated in it with now with like the attitude of having things. I think it's just being a business owner too. Like you.
Yep.
It's not a stable path. Like it's just,
Yeah.
you know, and you.
Yeah, it's not a guarantee.
No, it's not.
No.
But
It's-
it has great fruits to it, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know.
Absolutely.
It can give you things you never would have without doing it.
Can I ask you, if we're talking to new artists out there or people that are like trying to break out and stuff like that, could you give me maybe two examples of something extremely significant that you learned from the time you went full time as a musician? Like when you quit your job and this is going to be my career, this is what I'm doing full time.
Yeah. Either
Like what the fucks, or like
Make-
things
make
you had to
sure-
overcome.
make sure to avoid this or definitely do this.
Yeah, is there
something
any
like that.
tips that you could?
Can I
toss
give
out
more
there?
than two?
100%.
Okay.
man. I'll take them all.
What was the number one I had in my head? Okay, what was my first one I had in my head? Marry well. Number one. I'm not even joking. If you're in business or anything, make sure you have a really strong partner. I'm dead serious about it.
Yep.
Again, like, my wife is incredible. Like, I honestly really base a lot of my success on her. Like, I learned so much from her. Is again, I'm very extrovert, ADHD type out there. My wife is very A type. She's really good with the taxes and all that. Like, we
Yeah.
make it, but find someone that can complement your skills. Like,
Right.
I can't stress it enough. Like, a partner can make or break you. That'd be the first thing. Second, I would say, is you got to learn how to sell. I know it's like an evil word in the music industry, but you got to learn how to make sales. You got to learn how to be with people. Like, that's what this is. It's relationships. And any aspect of the music industry, if you're not a person that's nice to people and doesn't know how to be grateful and stuff like that, you're not going to have any opportunities. Again, like, I was happy when you told me about Kieran being so grateful all the time because I keep nagging him to do that.
Yeah.
You know, like, I really do. Like, you need people to like you.
Right.
It's the most important thing. Like, again, like, the thing I'll teach artists all the time when I work with them, it's like not even music related. It's that people's favorite word is their name, their first name, and they remember how they felt when they were with you. Not necessarily what you're talking about. It's how you made them feel.
Yep.
And as an artist, that's your job. You're selling feelings. You're like a feeling drug dealer. like for real, like in any aspect. It's like when you're on stage, like even when you're talking to people, if you're not making that, you know, because again, like I would say to those artists out there or producers or anything, like those fans are customers. Any way you slice it, like you're working for them. And if it's like those days of having that angsty rock star thing where you're hiding in the back and don't talk, those days are gone.
Right.
Yeah, you know, like you need to be out there mingling, and you need those are the people like paying your bills.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's like again, like don't center the conversation around you, center it around them. You know, make them feel good, and again, be genuine about it. Don't even fake it. Just actually like try to build a relationship with them.
Right.
Like that's the big thing I teach all the
It's
time, and I think
sales 101.
Sales 101. Like I say, like again, another book. Again, books are a big one, or audiobooks if you don't like to read. Definitely make one of your Bibles. Win Friends and How to Influence People is big. It's a big. It's a relationship game. People. Again, we'll use Kieran. Like I can tell he has a likability thing about him. He was on TikTok. Like you can see it. People are like, ooh, and his voice too.
Right.
Yep.
You know, I'd say that's a point number 2. I would say. Okay, what else with business full time? Oh man, you gotta really learn how to like control yourself. Like no joke. Like you gotta. They always say that all the time. What is that like? You got to overcome your demons. I guarantee it. All you artists do. Like anyone watching this, definitely for sure. You're an artist. Like you write songs. Like your feelings are probably monstrous. You're either ADHD or OCD or Asperger's or something. Like you got to learn how to manage yourself. Like for real. You got to get your feels right. You got to figure out your balance in life. Because if you're not right, that ship is not going to sail properly. Like I really believe in that. Like the mental of it all. Because that's the biggest thing. When you go full time and you could be starving and all that stuff. Like. You have to learn how to have the nerve for it and everything like that. That'd be the next thing.
Did that camera stop?
We're going to take a quick break
Yeah.
on the Sit Down podcast. Please hold. We'll talk more music industry stuff.
That one's still on?
This one is Painkiller. I thought you were my only pillar. Held me up, kept me strong inside. I don't want to be your painkiller when you feel all alone at night. Red wine, low-key time. Buy clothes no one knows. It's fine just tonight. Hiding in the shadows, I'm just your painkiller. No drug dealer, not a space filler. Don't wanna be your empty mirror. Painkiller, emotional thriller, make your mind clearer. I'm just your painkiller. Your painkiller. Don't wanna be your dirty secret. There's gotta be something more. It's not how it has to be. It's not just some nightly score. Red wine, low-key time. Buy clothes no one knows. It's fine just tonight. Hiding in the shadows, I'm just your painkiller. No drug dealer, not a space filler. Don't wanna be your empty mirror. Painkiller, emotional thriller, make your mind clearer. I'm just your painkiller. Your painkiller. I still remember everything like yesterday, making me think that I couldn't change. Your words held me back from living my life, telling me I couldn't survive. Now I know you're wrong and I'm not afraid. I'm just your painkiller. No drug dealer, not a space filler. Don't wanna be your empty mirror. Painkiller, emotional thriller, making my clearer. I'm just your painkiller. your painkiller.
We were talking about things that are that you've learned that were crucial when you went full time into music. That could be tips to somebody who's new or coming up.
This is the big one. In any aspect of the music industry or business, you need to get good at learning. And this is a weird one to say, and I don't even know if you did this on this. You need to get good at learning. Everything changes all the time. The music industry is insane. It goes from TikTok to Instagram to Vine to and streaming to not streaming to aliens coming down. Like it changes every 5 seconds.
AI generated music. That's a new thing now.
I live on ChatGPT now. It's like part of me. But you need to get good at getting comfortable to learn. Again, that's the biggest thing I notice with like people that are younger to older. Older folks are way more stubborn, and they have a really hard time learning. Where younger, I think it's just a brain thing. But get good at learning, like you always do. Like even with recording or podcasts or anything, video, like the technology changes all the time. And if you're not evolving, you're going to be left behind.
I like how you're saying that. Like things that market. I'll speak on my behalf. Like I've been invited to studios and stuff when recordings are happening, just to be a fly on the wall when it's taking place. I freaking love that because I'm like. I feel like I don't know how to explain it, but that's when I'm in that moment, that quote unquote fly on the wall when shit's going down. I'm taking it all in. Like, what are they using? What are they doing? Like, is there something here that I can learn that I can apply to what we're doing? And we've actually done that. An example would be that, what's that freaking thing called? That again, Osmo?
Yep.
Like we were at Josh's Saskatchewan mic recording, and they had one of those units for their camera. And
they had a bigger one though, but
well, because they had like an actual camera.
But you got to see it.
Yeah,
you probably got to ask them questions.
Like, you know what? We could totally use that when we're recording the music. So Mark went and bought one, and it's the freaking cat's ass, man. It's
and that's what's funny. What you guys are saying is going to lead to my next one. Experience is king. The way I would really do it is I'm a very big on fake it till you make it. Get experience first. Like, get in there. Like, is any way you can. Like, you should be Adam Johnson. Let's use him. I didn't put him on the list. Adam Johnson. He's another artist I worked. I did his last EP. But what Adam does really well, he's at everything. Yeah. And that's so key when you're starting out. Like, you just need experience. And then you can read about it after. You know, like,
exactly.
You know, like, and whatever, you screw up, you make mistakes, it happens. Like, we all, like, but I like, again, like what you're talking about, being in that studio and seeing that mic, there's nothing that beats that. The osmosis, is that the right word?
Osmosis.
But like, yeah, and that'll lead to my next thing. It's like, I really believe, and this is the thing I really live and die by, always be the dumbest person in the room. Always. You never want to be the smartest person. Like, even as me, that's the only reason I've gotten so good at guitar and all the things I've done. I've always been the weakest musician. Always. Like, always have been. And it's like because like you said, like that same thing with that camera. Anytime I worked with an artist, I'd watch them play. I'd learn what they're playing. If I didn't understand it, I'd ask them. They'd teach me.
Yeah.
You know, even with other producers.
That's it. Don't be scared to ask questions.
Experience.
No question is a stupid question. Like, if you don't know, like, how else are you going to find
learn.
out? Yeah,
like,
just ask somebody.
I think it's important to feel stupid in situations. You should. Yeah. That means you're in the right place.
Yep.
If you feel like you're the smartest person, get out of that room. There's nothing to learn.
Yeah.
There's no skills to learn. Like, if you'd want to be the weakest at all times. Like, I really believe it. Like, I can't stress it enough. Like, you get so much from it. Experience is king. Like, again, I am a total hermit now, for sure. Like, I'm a homebody. Like, I don't even know if I want to play shows down the road. Like, I like being at home, but I still think experience is king. I think I'm just going to experience things differently. I want to go live in Mexico in the winter and make music. Too cold here.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
but
did you guys get a shit ton of snow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everywhere did.
We were just.
I remember. We got less than Saskatoon.
Was that Saturday that happened, or whatever it was? Like, all we did all day was shovel.
Sunday, I think.
Whatever day it was, Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. My shoveling muscles are strong.
Yeah. There you go. Mark tweaked his back.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Let's change this.
Shoot.
Up. So, you guys have been at it for a while now. What have you learned that you could give for younger versions of yourself?
The first thing that comes to mind is you don't always want to meet your heroes. Is the first thing that comes to mind. I've had not expectations, but you see these TikToks and these music videos and whatever, and then are watching a movie on a famous actor or something, and you get this interpretation of how that person is in your mind as a result of the character that they're playing or performing. And then when you meet them in person, they're nothing like that. Some of them are pieces of shit, for example, right? And it's just
it ruins them.
It not only them, but it hurts, man. If you're putting somebody up on a pedestal and you meet them and they're just a piece of shit, like that's crushing. That can be crushing for me personally. It's like, man, I had so much respect for so and so, and I finally got to meet them, and they punched me in the face or whatever, right? And it's just like, dude, that fucks with somebody's. Like, for the last 10 years, I had this guy on a pedestal, and now he's just a piece of shit under my shoe.
He's just a guy.
So that's the first thing that comes to mind that I learned very, very quickly. Well, not even very quickly. I think we were about 2 years in, and then it happened.
I know exactly who you're referring to.
Yeah, I'm not even going to. I'm not going to.
Let's not use names.
No.
But again, we'll lead to that. That's why it's important as an artist to be nice to all people, because of what just happened there.
Right.
Yep.
But also.
But don't fake
but
it.
But I was just going to say that. Don't be fake. Be the true you. If you're a legit asshole or whatever, then be that asshole.
Yeah.
Don't fake it.
But be that.
I think you should build
all
your
the time.
brand around that. Like,
right. That's
the
what I
one
mean.
thing I keep
That's what
learning about is
like,
authentic.
Lean into it.
Yeah,
right?
like at least let that be your brand. So when people beat you, it's not shocking.
Yep.
No, I noticed that with times when I'll work with artists I'll songwrite. I have the opposite thing that'll happen to me. I will meet them first, because I generally have no idea who anyone is because I don't watch a lot of things. But I'll meet them as an artist.
Yep.
And we'll write and stuff, and then I see the stuff after. I'm like, oh my god, they're not like that person at all.
Yeah.
It's the total opposite, where I think it's strange because they're putting on the country facade, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
They'll start drawing more, and like, I remember that I had a friend of mine, he got signed to Sony. I'm not gonna say his name or anything like that, but he actually had to take lessons on how to draw.
Really?
Yeah, he had to do like lessons on this so he could like draw better, because it resonates more and makes more sales when you're in the South.
That's
interesting.
Yeah, no, like we work in the entertainment industry.
Yep.
Well, that's exactly it. Like,
But that's
you guys are entertainers.
We're entertainers. Like,
Exactly.
But that's also that's one thing I learned from not only the podcast but just the whole business in general, is that artists do need to treat their art as a business.
Yep.
I always thought, if you're good, it'll take its own path kind of thing, but it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. Sometimes it does. Someone comes along and has that raw talent, and somebody picks up on that and then takes it for a ride. But in general, you can be good, you can be great, and go nowhere. We know so many artists that should be in the Billboard Top 100, whatever, but they're not there because they're not treating it as a business.
100%. I think actually most artists that are bigger out there, I wouldn't say are the best artists.
Yeah, because they know how to sell.
They have the charisma and the personality, and they hustle, and they know how to market, and they treat it like a business.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, 100%. Like, it is true. I'm sorry for anyone watching this. I know this like makes people's blood boil when I talk about this
well,
stuff, but it's the reality of it.
Well, yeah.
If you want to have that yacht, you have to treat it like a business.
Friggin' right.
Yeah, and being devil's advocate with that, I always actually thought it would be fun when I see bands like Slipknot and stuff like that where they make costumes. I do also think it would be fun to put a facade on and be an artist. Like, I wonder if it'd be kind of freeing, like where if they didn't know who you were as a person.
Yeah,
like
but
if
then
you're performing.
you have to be really careful with who you meet as well.
But I get like a mask on, like how Slipknot is,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
costume
Yeah.
on, or
Or Insane Clown Posse.
yeah.
Or
I just think everyone does it different. Like
or
it's-
Daft Punk.
That's just it. There isn't a right or a wrong way. There's no set rules on. There's no or not set rules, but there's no list in order of things
Yeah.
you need to do to reach a certain point.
There are things
There's
that you
a-
need to do.
Yeah,
just not.
but
in a certain
there's
order.
not a specific order. But if you can check those boxes,
Yep.
you're well on your way
No, you
to
are
becoming successful.
And I'm sure any artist out there that's bigger has always that battle of what's authentic and what's money.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the way I'm just gonna boil it down to that.
Yep.
Like,
Absolutely.
because again, like we all have bills to pay. And again, like I'm sure there's lots of artists out there that put a certain song on the record because it pops more.
And exposure does not pay the bills, people.
That's right. Your TikToks and everything. Well, I don't know.
They do. They're kind of like that.
TikToks.
They're kind of like a funnel. They're a
No,
funnel.
but if you get hired, you know, like, hey, you're a good artist. Can you play on my stage for free? It's good exposure. Fuck that.
Yeah, but I was gonna go back to the argument of TikTok doesn't put butts in the seats, but we've had a few artists on the show tell us that it actually does.
Yep.
That people have arrived at shows because they found them on TikTok.
Yep.
Like Braden King in Regina. I know it happened to Caitlin Lehner at the Capitol one night. There was some people on her TikTok that bought tickets and showed up, and like so. I've been proven wrong on that.
No,
so
TikTok's huge.
my argument
I see
isn't
TikTok
valid.
is the random sea of people. It's just the random sea.
Yep.
Like it's like there's so much because it's like it's clickbaity. You're like boom, 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 boom. So it's like I think it's like the initial hit for people. Again, I always look at music as a drug deal. Like it's the initial hit. And again, they always say the psychology of things is someone has to hear something 8 times before they get addicted or hooked.
Yep.
So TikTok's great for that. That's why you want to like repeat bang, 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 have the same thing, same hook. Gets you addicted. Then the next stage they're going to do is they're either going to check you out on YouTube or Instagram. Those will be the next. And Instagram's more of an intimate thing. It's a tad more. And then YouTube is like if you got someone like you guys going to your podcast and they're actually watching this 1 hour thing, they're a crazy fan.
Right.
That they're committing that much time. Where TikTok's just like the initial hit. I see the stages now.
Yep.
And then Instagram is like you're more committed. You're definitely like you want to see their stories. Like
Definitely.
you want something more centralized.
There was I don't know, we had a funny joke not that long ago where we were in one of those moods of like, why are we doing this? And like, damn it, I think we were having issues with editing an episode, and we were just like, why are we even fighting with this or something? And then we were kind of just I was scrolling through our YouTube channel and looking at the thumbnails, and I was like, holy fuck, like this is a lot of time and effort to put in for just basically scrolling through our thumbnails. You know what I mean? Like people are scrolling through it to see what guests are on, but are they actually clicking it and listening to what we're talking about? It was just one of those. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
It's so crazy because those things are like
16 hours for a thumbnail.
Yeah.
It's so funny because it's like the more I learn about it, though, and that's what I mean. Like I always have to keep evolving because I've always been old school. But those little things matter. It's like how you have things titled with the keywords. It matters.
Yeah.
I noticed that too when I was scrolling on your guys' things. Later on, you used the name first, and then later on, you didn't.
Yeah, it's
I picked that up.
It's still evolving.
That's what I mean. Like it's like things like that where like a year ago, I want to pick that up.
Yeah, and it's like hashtags and all that kind of stuff.
I used to be so against TikTok. Like I didn't start using it until like 7 months ago because I was like, no. But then again, like I just for me, I evolved because I'm like, I want to make fans and even something we used to do Twitch all the time, like Andrea and I back in the day, and again it has to be for a certain type. Like it has to be for a certain type, but it's like the sea of people where again like I'm geekier, so it works, and even my sound, it's like nerd rock or divorce rock, you know. That's how I look at it, like nerd divorce rock. So it fits with that well, and it's also too I'm a geek. Like I like games and like I like anime, so it's like Twitch works for me and Andrea.
Right.
Yeah, like even Andrea has her Cozy with Andrea brand where like it works with that. But
Cozy
I like that because it's like
Andrea?
ways I can make more of an intimate connection with people. Pardon?
What's Cozy with Andrea?
It's Andrea's new brand. You guys should check out Cozy with Andrea. It's for all your cozy desk needs. And if you want to get your anime kick in and you like video games, you guys have to check it out.
This episode
my
is sponsored by.
Yeah.
Also, I got to say hi to my crew, Chris and Kate and Andrea. And all the people that helped me, and my mom and dad. I told them I'd say it.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Hi, Mom and Dad. But oh man, I can talk about the business end forever. I am obsessed.
Let's shift gears a little bit because Painkiller came out 2 weeks ago. By the time this airs,
it comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, so by the time this airs, 2 weeks
Oh
ago.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's March 8th.
So Painkiller is a song I wrote with LJ Tyson,
Yep.
one of the artists you had, and another songwriter named Doug Sylvester. So I think we wrote it during COVID. It was like 3 years ago, but no, I'm really happy. It's the first good song. I have a ton ready. The next one's gonna be Love Will Find a Way, and then probably that Room Full of Strangers I played, and then I want to do that Whiskey and Soda one that I got Josh to sing on.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, Painkiller is about a situation where you're with a partner that is almost using you too much, and you can see that like you're their painkiller. That's kind of like how we wrote it, and no, it was a lot of fun because LJ's great though, right? With Doug is too, but like
I
LJ's
freaking
like a hook master, you know, like
Oh, I love that guy so much.
Yeah. That's LJ all the way.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's super good at that. Because when I write songs, I think LJ looks at it too. LJ's a great writer, but I look at all things. I like to have the 4 tiers in songs. I call it. So like the beginning's like lower. Like that's how you only kill. It's like lower, then the halfway kicks up, chorus hits, and then you got that hooky thing at the end.
Right.
Because I do know if that song ever caught on, that's something I probably could be at a show being like, do pain. I'm sure people would catch on pretty quick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
so
right.
I'm trying to write things in like a pop format, but with the rock country thing in it. Even the guitar stuff I do, like there's like the little underhooks you throw in there, but it's like heavy guitar instead of a synth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to be putting music out. I've been wrestling with this way too long. I know you and I had a conversation over a meal once about it.
And I was telling you, just
you're
do
like,
it, man.
dude, do it.
Just do it.
Do it. And I was like
You're
my wife says the
overthinking.
same
You're
thing.
overthinking it.
I was overthinking it. I was overthinking
When
it.
was the last time you put music out before this?
I want to say 7 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was just I had some things to clean up in my life still with it, but I think honestly it was just self-doubt. Just straight up insecurity, self-doubt.
Right.
Again, yeah, I think that's what it was. A little unclear of where I want to go sound-wise kind of got me, but no, I think it was just self-doubt. I think I deal with so much mental crazies being an artist and a writer. Like,
did it also have something to do with the fact that you were writing and producing for others so that you put your own stuff on the back burner kind of thing?
I think so, but I also feel like that could be an excuse as well. I think honestly I just wasn't doing it. I wasn't prioritizing it. Also too, I think it was just being old and lazy and like being nervous about learning things. Again, being an artist, there's so much to it. It's like I'm sending out radio things, I'm press releasing, I'm calling people, I'm uploading this song. Thank God there's AI now, so I can actually write posts that look like English, like that. Like I'm a terrible like. It's weird. I write songs and I can write stories and commercials, but I am almost illiterate. Like it's weird. I can't write, and so like not gonna lie, ChatGPT was a game changer for me. Like it's able to take because for me it's like I know what I want to say, but it's like I literally have to be like Andrea or my dad. Can you make this into English? So ChatGPT replaced them. Like I'm no legit. Like,
Heck yeah.
I'm
So
able
okay,
to be,
so
proofread this.
like,
I use it a lot too.
Could you give me a little bit more of a specific example of how you use ChatGPT to translate the information?
Like just my writing or like everything in my life with ChatGPT.
Just
I live on it.
Like,
Well, do you know how ChatGPT works?
This. Correct me if I'm wrong here. But ChatGPT, you basically put in keywords or phrases that you want, like what we did when we were like, write an article about Funky Moose Records and the Sit Down podcast.
Yep.
And what other info? So that's what you said. I think you put in 2 other sentences in there. What did you say?
Just more details. So, for example, I think the way you would do it is you just ramble whatever you have in your head in whatever order, and you send it, and ChatGPT goes like, "Oh, do you mean this?" And then it kind of spits out a whole article.
That is true. I do that as well. But just say I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, this is too long. Make it shorter. Yep. Oh, it's not funny enough. Make it funnier. What's the hashtags for this? And then I'm doing like a playlist.
That's a good one.
Exactly.
What would be proper hashtags that I could use for this post?
Or what's an annoying thing when you're an artist all the time? You'll have your bio and then you'll submit for something. It's only 400 characters. God damn it, this is 2,000.
Yeah.
Yep. Then I'll go make this no more than 400 characters. Done. I'll read it over quickly, make sure it's not stupid.
Yeah.
Boom. Done. It saves me ridiculous amounts of time. Even emails. Like it's like when you get someone like a customer, we'll say Nolita being like, I'm just whatever it is. I don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. You throw it in there. How do I reply to this?
Yeah.
Or legal documents. I use it for legal documents all the time. Because when you're in the music industry, you have to know how to read legal documents.
Yeah.
So what I suggest to all you people when you're reading it, take that legal document or the clause in it where you're like, what does that mean? Put it in there and go explain it so a 5th grader can understand it. And it does.
Yeah.
Really quick. Like that can save
That's
you
a
trouble.
good tip, man.
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
And that's that adapting again. Like,
Adapting. And
instead
like,
of fighting against it, how can I use it to my advantage?
it's a tool, like nothing else. It's just like a saw. Another thing I'll use it for. Just say you're I don't know what to write about on TikTok with my sit down podcast. put your link in there. Go give me 50 TikTok videos to make for my podcast.
Yeah. Well, that's
Just do the list.
hell yeah, dude.
And if you need them to write a script for you, you'll be like, write me a script for this.
Yep.
Make it funnier. Yeah, I
That's
use it
actually-
for everything.
That's
Like,
actually a lot of the TikToks that I've done in the past. Used as I literally put in, give me 3 tips about, or give me 3
fun facts about this album.
Fun facts
or
about
something.
it. Yeah, exactly. And it spit out 3 things, and one of them I didn't know about, so I Googled it to make sure it was actually true.
Mhm.
And then, okay,
you have
Right.
to fact check. You definitely do. Like,
yeah, and
don't
then-
like
Yeah.
totally
It's-
trust it,
yeah,
but
spits out a script. You put that in your teleprompter, you read it out, and done.
I can't decide if I should get sober. 'Cause I'm afraid of the voices deep inside, telling myself that I don't got a problem. But why does my past not let me sleep at night? Smoke's the only thing that lets me feel good enough so I can climb out of this well. I tell myself that I could be different if I found a way to live with myself. 'Cause the only thing that takes away the lonely is the only thing that keeps me on my own. So damn tired of being in a room full of strangers when all I wanna do is feel at home. These days don't even need a reason. I can numb them out and put it all at ease. In a simple way, it's complicated. Is happiness overrated? Knowing what I want ain't what I need. 'Cause the only thing that takes away the lonely is the only thing that keeps me on my own. So damn tired of being in a room full of strangers when all I wanna do is feel at home. No one ever said this would be easy. I've come to believe this to be true. I've been carrying this weight on my shoulders far too long. I'm not broken, I'm just brand new. 'Cause the only thing that takes away the lonely is the only thing that keeps me on my own. So damn tired of being in a room full of strangers when all I wanna do is feel at home. When all I wanna do is feel at home. I can't decide if I should get sober. Well, yeah, no, I like that when you're talking about the music industry now. There's so many awesome tools now.
Yeah.
There's so much, like, it's infinite. If you're out there, you can do it.
And accessible.
You really can. And you can, like, if you have this, if you just have a phone, which everyone does, because people will be like, it's so expensive, I can't buy recording stuff. You can do it with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guaranteed. 95% of it.
We've
If you
had,
want to even use the mic here and sing into it, but headphones in, you can make it sound good.
Yep.
dude, I get asked all the time what type of cameras we have. And
Phones.
dude, we're using our cell phones
You're using
right
a
now.
phone.
Yep.
You guys, we live in a world of cell phones. This is like the most intense. Like, they didn't have anything like this out 10 years ago. Like,
Yep.
this can do everything. It's got 4K video.
And it's the same.
You're good. You can edit the video on there. You can put TikToks. Like you have no excuses anymore. I'm sorry. Like I'm just gonna be straight up. You're just lazy. Like
it's the same with podcasting. I don't know how to start podcasting. Well, grab your phone, install the app, and record. Done.
You guys love that phone. Do this.
If I was to give advice on podcasting, consistency is key.
Yep.
Even if it's a dog shit episode, upload it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just be consistent in it.
Yep. I think it's consistency and to have no excuses because there isn't any anymore.
Right.
I'm sorry, there isn't. Like, well, I'm not saying everyone has phones. That's not fair. I know there's some people that don't have the privilege of having phones either.
True.
That's fair.
Yep.
That's fair. But I still think there's a good chunk of our listeners that do.
Yeah.
And just get a phone or find something or borrow a phone or find an old you
make friends with someone
now.
with a phone.
Find an old VHS.
You can even get
recorder
beats off
from
YouTube
the
that are
frickin'
royalty
90s
free.
Actually, here I don't remember what the hell I think I was watching YMH this week or something, and they pulled up an old TV commercial from early 90s, and it was just a random commercial, whatever, it's fine. But they were laughing about it. They're comedians, so they were joking about it, how we should bring back that old, look up any old commercial from the 90s, and you can tell, it was recorded on VHS and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
The font is, big and thick and shit like that. We should bring that back.
Oh, that could be your style.
Bring
people
it
already do it,
retroly.
but that could be your guys' style with this.
Yeah,
and that's what I mean. We live in a time stylistically you can do whatever you please. You just got to find people that resonate with that. That's why it's even sound-wise. There's going to be someone that's in a niche area. Yeah. I actually think the more niche you are, the better you'll do now, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Specialize.
Yeah. I think we live in a wonderful time for things. The tools are there. You just need to know how to learn and have the willingness to do it and not be lazy.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. And just...
I think that's a good way to end the episode because I have a feeling we can do this for another 3 hours.
I feel like we could do this for all night.
and our cameras are probably going to die out again right away. So, Jesse, I want to thank you again for coming all the way out here, man. We appreciate the shit out of you and the work that you're doing. I think Painkiller is great, and the other songs that you performed here tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad I got to be here. This is great. And
hell yeah.
We definitely want you back because, like I said, we're not done yet.
We'll do some other ones. But again, for everyone out there, Painkiller is out. Please stream it as much as you can so I can buy a yacht. I'd appreciate it. I need about 2 billion streams, probably maybe 3 billion. No, probably 20 billion streams to do that. But
start spinning it. Hell yeah,
Where can people find you online?
Go to jesseweimanmusic.com or any of the social media handles with Jesse Weiman Music at the end. Or look up Jesse Weiman. Jesse Weiman on the internet.
What's your name? What's your name? Yeah.
Jesse Weiman. No, Jesse Weiman.
All right. Thank you guys
Thank you,
for
everyone.
tuning in. And we didn't say it earlier, but if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-